I'd like to thank you for being here today. Family, friends, players, fans, and members of the media.
Shedball?
Shedball.
Shedball.
I don't get Shedball.
Shedball.
I'm sure he's told you about Shedball.
People have asked me, what is Shedball? And really, it's a simple game. A humble foam basketball, a mini hoop, and a shed that changed the history of sports.
What's up, Shedball Nation?
I've been criticized.
I was a little mad at you, Tim.
I have a deep, deep love for the game.
I felt like you'd betrayed Shedball.
Many have asked me why I shut the sport down over a decade ago.
Well, kids grow up, kids get jobs, have families, went underground for a while.
It truly was because I didn't have the time, effort, attention, energy to provide the sport that it deserves. The truth is, I'm not sure if I have those things now, but Shedball has been forced back upon me. It's like the old friend that continues to come back into my life.
Yeah, it was a crisp fall morning.
Tell me about Taste Coffee Company.
Taste.
Taste Coffee Company, where I work, small local coffee shop, which evidently you told your mom about.
I hadn't been there.
Now we're trained to ask some questions when someone comes in.
I needed to do some studying, and I thought, I'd like to go.
One of the questions that we ask is it your first time? After we ask if they're in the rewards program. So we ask, are you in the rewards program? And if they say no, we ask, is it your first time here?
I met a guy who took my order. His name is Isaac.
She said it was her first time there, and I asked her if she wanted to be added to the rewards program, and she said sure. She typed in her name, and I could see her name on the little computer screen in front of me, and it's Sally Whalen. I asked, oh, do you know Tim Whalen?
I found out that he knew my son Tim. They go to the same church.
And she was like, yeah, he's my kid.
So he was telling me about all these fun games that Tim comes up with, that he creates.
Talking about Drive the Lane, but she thought I was talking about Shedball. So I didn't even try to bring up Shedball. I tried to bring up Drive the Lane.
I said, well, then I'm sure he's talked to you about Shedball, hasn't he? And he's like...
And Shedball comes up, and she's like, oh yeah, Tim made up this basketball game, Shedball. And I was like, okay, yeah, Shedball, I've heard about that.
Yeah, but we haven't really played it, and we don't know about where we could play it. We don't really know where there's a shed or anything.
I asked if she was visiting you because I thought she lived out of state. Because why had we never played Shedball if she lived in East Lansing?
And I said, wait. I said, the original Shedball shed is still in existence in our backyard here in East Lansing.
And I was like, wait, what?
Maybe Shedball could be reborn.
You're telling me I've been living for the past 10 years. Tim could have all invited us to his parents' shed to play Shedball. I was a little mad at you, Tim, and then I texted you and I was like, well, let me see if I can pull up the exact message here. Hey, just met your mom. Turns out she lives in East Lansing, and her shed is available to play Shedball in. I'm offended you never taught us. You just replied, how did you meet my mom? And I just said, Taste. I wasn't very happy with you. I felt like you'd betrayed Shedball. You'd let it die. That frustrated me.
Shedball by the numbers. The games are 2v2. Each team can have 3 on the roster if they want to. The hoops are 8 feet tall. That's Shedball regulation size. There are 6 franchises that were minted by the league and are currently owned by the league. The Road Trippers, in honor of those who drove over 8 hours to play in Shedball tournaments. The Maplewooders, after Maplewood Drive, home of Shedball. The Grounders, named after Sam Whalen's solid ground capital land flipping business, and also a nod to Taste Coffee Company, where Shedball was reborn. The Shed Rats, for those who put in blood, sweat, and tears getting better hours and hours in the shed. The 2010ers, in honor of the year that we first held a Shedball tournament. And the Mystique, after the Shedball Mystique. The Shedball Mystique is that thing about a person that can allow them to take a game like a mini hoop, like wiffle ball, like kicking a ball through a shed window, and make it seem like it's Augusta National, or the Final Four, or the NFL Draft.
I don't get Shedball. There's a thing called Shedball Mystique. That sounds cultish. In fact, the whole Shedball following, I would say it's cult-like, but I think it's actually cultish.
The league is staunchly opposed to the occult. Anything demonic, evil, we reject and want to see defeated. Now, maybe cult of personality, cult classic, but no, we are not a cult. We do not support the occult.
It sounds like there's 6 teams. You can have ownership in a team?
Yeah, you can own one of the franchises. You have to be a member of Shedball. Right now they're on the website for $50,000. But the team that wins the first Shedball tournament is actually going to become owners of a franchise.
The only benefit of ownership, as far as I can tell, is that you are burdened with the responsibility of finding a substitute if you don't want to play in a Shedball tournament. So I don't get it.
So the league owns all the franchises right now, and we've put general managers in charge of each franchise. Anthony Calabeo, Kyle Velker, Sam Whalen, Rob Eberle, Kyle Lehman, Bobby Sylvester, Kyle, Sam, Bobby, Rob. The general managers are in charge of signing players to their teams. They have a salary cap of $10 and must spend wisely.
I couldn't think of any greater honor than to be the GM of the Mystique. I took my strategy and bid low on the players, thinking that I only had $10.0 to spend.
These are real contracts.
So I went a little bit low on my bids at first, and that hurt a lot. I didn't get the players that I initially wanted, but I got the players that I needed.
There are rumors that you pursued a contract with Michael McVicker, but he took a higher offer elsewhere.
Yeah, a little disappointed about that, but I saw him for what I thought he was worth, and Saturday we'll see. We'll see who's a better player. This team that I've got is incredible. One of the guys, he travels to be here. He was born to do this. His commitment to this team is everything that a general manager could be asking for. I mean, he's going to be planning a wedding pretty soon, and this should be mentioned in his vows of how dedicated this guy is. Like I said, he came here from Indiana, the land of the Hoosiers. Coach Dale once said, I forget what he said, but it was something along the lines of, don't like us for who we are, don't not like us for... I forget what the quote was, but it was a good quote. This is my first time being a general manager. People might be saying how inexperienced that I am. I'm not worried about it at all. We are going to win games. I went above and beyond, and I prepared plays for my players.
Could you describe some of the plays for me?
No, I can't. Look, the guy already got caught doing that with Michigan, sign stealing. We're not going to play that game.
I want to know what happens here with the system. School closings, event closings. We had to figure out what to do about Shedball.
This is the Ice Bowl.
This just in, an injury report.
Hold on. And one.
Breaking news, all players for the Ice Bowl have been signed to teams.
It's a lot of pressure.
My parents thought I was coming up here for a church play. Tim, I came up here for Shedball.